So I actually just had the opportunity to, what John's referring to is the opportunity to compete in by far the biggest powerlifting event ever in history. Tested, untested, doesn't matter. It was phenomenal. It was awesome. It was held in Sheffield in the UK, my first time being in England. And essentially what they did was SBD, who's one of my sponsors, but they're a massive equipment manufacturer in the sport. What they did was they invited all of the best world champions that natural powerlifting has to offer. So people who are not using performance enhancing drugs, the best that the world has to offer. And they put us all up against each other. So we all battled head to head. And I ended up placing third, would have placed first. But I had a world record squat that I hit, that the judges made it a good lift. And then after the fact, the jury decided to overturn it because another coach protested it.
Who was the other coach?
This guy, Ben Esgro, he was actually an old coach of mine as well. Yeah.
Wait. Hold on.
Yep.
For those who don't understand and are trying to follow, raise your hands. Okay, so including me. I understand the premise of what you're doing. Explain to me how judges can say you're good. Right?
Yeah, that's a great question.
And then someone else from the audience says, how's that work?
It's a phenomenal question. So basically the way it works is you have 3 referees, right? Each one represents a white or a red light. If you get a white light, it's a good lift, red light, bad lift. You need at least 2 out of 3 for it to be a good lift, right? So 2 white lights out of 3. If you only get 2 white lights and one judge has given you red, the jury, which is 3 other people, they kind of sit to the side. They have the ability and the authority to overturn it. Now, normally they won't do that. The only time when they usually will, or they'll at least look at it, is if an opposing coach protests it. So let's say you and I were competing against each other, right? John's your athlete and I'm competing against John. And I have a squat that probably will beat him in the long run, right? If I get that squat, my total is going to be higher, whatever. So you say, you know what? He got 2 white lights. I'm going to protest it. So you go to the jury. I believe you put up like €100 or 100 USD or something.
You gotta pay.
You have to put up money.
This man.
You have to put up money. Dude, that guy protested like 8 lifts. He's out like $1,000.
Good.
Anyway, so you put up money. The jury will then take a look at the lift. If they feel you were correct and they overturn it, you get your money back. If they say, nope, we don't care, we're going to keep it, then you get your money back and that's it. Or sorry, they keep your money and that's it. So that's essentially what happens. So the audience can't do anything. The jury has the authority to overturn what the referees do.
You get your money back if it is overturned?
Yeah, so if you were correct in your challenge,
right,
you get your money
it's
back.
kind of getting the flag back.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
crazy.
Yeah.
So in this case, you did a squat.
Yep.
A record.
740-pound squat, broke the world record by at least 10 pounds. And that would have set me up for a massive world record total, would have put me in first, would have won like 50 grand, whole 9. And and it only got 2 white lights out of 3.
So it got 2 white lights and a red.
Yes.
And then this other disgruntled coach.
Another coach.
I don't know the guy, so I'm not throwing out.
He's a good guy.
But here's the first time I'm hearing this, and to me, it sounds like sour grapes, right? It just does. If he's a former coach of yours and he contested your lift when there was 2 white lights, I don't know. That just sounds like he's a little pissy on something. So now he goes and puts his €100 up and goes to the jury, and then the jury looks at the lift, I guess.
So I don't know if they have instant replay.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't, and it's just based on memory, which is asinine.
Wow.
It's crazy.
These
These are some of the issues.
Wait a minute. Where does the money go? Into the pockets of these fucking judges?
Correct.
Are you serious?
But keep in mind though, it's technically it would not. Well, I mean, I guess technically it goes to the IPA, like the federation, but it's not in their best interest to keep the money, hypothetically, right? Like, because again, it's in the best interest of the coach protesting to be correct.
Oh, right.
So
they didn't.
And if he's correct, then he would get his money back.
Sure.
So look, man, it is what it is. But yeah, it can be a little tricky, a little complicated, but it is what it is. My stance on it, it's a rule. You're allowed to protest other lifters' lifts. Personally, I think it's weak, soft, and kind of dishonorable. I don't think you should, you shouldn't have to take something away from someone to be better than them, right? But a lot of coaches in the game don't see it that way, and that's totally fine. I mean, it's part of the rules. But yeah, so that's what happened.
And then you had to do the lift over.
No. So you only get 3 attempts. Usually what people will do is they open at a weight that's, let's say, a weight that they could do for 3 reps or so. And then their second attempt might be somewhere between something that is like their current best or maybe slightly under. And then their third attempt is usually when they try and reach a little bit. It all depends on the meet, the atmosphere, what you're fighting for, the whole 9. At my level, things are your margin of error is much smaller. You don't get to just kind of make mistakes and miss attempts because every kilo counts, so to speak. So everything matters when it comes to your total because you want to win, right? And so we just can't make mistakes, you know. But despite having that squat overturned, we still podiumed. We still, you know, won money, and, you know, we made sure people understood that I am one of the best in the country.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check this one out right here because it's just as good or maybe even better. Cheers.